Hi, welcome to part 2 of our math lesson 7-9 on generating, analyzing patterns for rectangular numbers. We're going to start off here with part 2. Here, we just finished in part 1 realizing that just like square numbers, rectangular numbers can be generated using a rule, and many different patterns can be observed about them. So we're going to actually now shift gears and work on finding a rule for rectangular numbers. First, I want you to stop and think, what multiplication equations can we write to represent these arrays? If you recognize them or they look similar, that's because they're the same three arrays from our math message. We have our 1 by 2 array here, our 2 by 3 array, and our 3 by 4 array, which represent the first three rectangular numbers, 2, 6, and 12. If we were to write multiplication equations to represent each of these arrays, for this one here, we would say write 1 times 2 equals 2. 2 being the rectangular number. Here we would write 2 times 3 equals 6. We have 2 rows of 3, or 2 equal groups of 3. So 2 times 3 is 6 there. And for this last array, we would write 3 times 4 equals 12 for a multiplication equation that represented it. Again, we have 3 equal rows of 4. 3 rows of 4, or 3 times 4 equals 12. So I want you to stop and think for a minute. Put on those thinking caps. What patterns do you notice in these three multiplication equations? I'm looking at patterns here. Hopefully you're starting to think, okay, 1 times 2 equals 2. These two numbers are called our factors. So what do we notice? Hint, hint. What pattern about the factors do you notice? In this equation, the factors are 1 and 2. In this equation, the factors are 2 and 3. In this equation, the factors are 3 and 4. I'm wondering, are you noticing that the factors for each rectangular number are two counting numbers in order? Think of counting numbers being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I look at and so forth. The pattern here is that the two factors to find the rectangular number are two counting numbers in order. For example, the factors for this first rectangular number, 2, the factors are 1 and 2. For the second one, we start with 2, and the two factors are 2 and 3. For the third one, since we're looking at the third rectangular number, we use the counting numbers 3 and the next counting number would be 4. 3 and 4, 3 times 4 equals 12, gives us that third rectangular number. So following this pattern, what equation can we use to find the fourth and fifth rectangular number? Well, for the fourth one, if you stop and think, if we've learned that the factors of each rectangular number are two counting numbers in order, and if you notice the pattern, like on the third one, it was 3 and 4. So for the fourth one, hopefully you're thinking 4 and 5 would be the two factors. So 4 times 5 equals the fourth rectangular number. So 4 times 5 equals 20. 20 is that fourth rectangular number. If we made 4 rows of 5, we would have a array that would make the shape of a rectangle and would have 20 total cubes in that array. Again, 4 times 5, two counting numbers in order. 4 and 5 were our two factors, so 4 times 5 is 20. It gives us that fourth rectangular number. To find the fifth rectangular number, stop and think. Fifth rectangular number. Start with, what would the two factors be? Well, if it's the fifth one we're looking for, 5, and what would be the next counting number? 6, yeah, 6, you are right. 5 and 6, 5 times 6 equals 30. 30 is our fifth rectangular number, because we can take 30 cubes and make an array that would take the shape of a rectangle. Okay, so if we think about the rule we just found here for finding rectangular numbers, it's really that you simply find the two counting numbers in order, and those are your two factors that you multiply together to get that rectangular number. So let's try finding some rectangular numbers and analyzing patterns. First, we're going to start by looking at problem number 1. You will need to come back and finish it on your own when you're completing the Google Math form for today. We're just going to do the first part here. It says draw the next 3 rectangular numbers. So here, let's see, they have the first 4 for us. Here they have the first rectangular number, which we've seen and found and analyzed in our math message, that first rectangular number, which is 2. Then we have the second rectangular number here, which is 6. You can see that 2 by 3 array. And they have their 3x4 right here, which is modeling or showing us the third rectangular number, which is 12. And like we just found on the last slide, our fourth rectangular number here is 20, because we have 4 times 5 equals 20, or a 4 by 5 array. Now, if you think about that rule we just talked about and the work we just did, right, we can find that next array, figure out that next rectangular number and how to make that next array. It would be the fifth, right? So we have the first 4, the fifth rectangular number we did on the last slide. If you're thinking, Mrs. Culp, we just did it, you're right. The fifth one, we would do 5 times 6 equals 30. So our next rectangular number would be 30. So what we need to do here to draw the next 3 rectangular numbers, to draw the next one, the fifth one, we need to make a 5 by 6 array with 30 dots total. Okay, so the fifth rectangular number then we know is 30, and we'll make our array of 5 by 6. Notice those 2 factors then, again, are 2 counting numbers in order. So we should make an array here that has 30 dots in it. I'm going to come over here and actually clear this screen. I'm going back to our eToolkit here. Again, great tool if you want to open up and use. And I was looking for an array builder here. Okay, and I think I have to use stars. Create array picture. I want to make, though, a shape. I'll use circle, color black. And we want to make a 5 rows, 6 columns, build array. We have a 5 by 6 array. Imagine if each of those dots were to go here on the journal page. So if we did, I'm trying to think the best way to show you this here, sorry. Right? If you were to go and make that 5 by 6 array, you would put dots and making 5 just like they did here. 5 tall, like 5 there, making 5 rows, and in each row you have 6 or 6 columns. 5 by 6 would make that array for the fifth rectangular number. Seeing that the 30, when we put it in the array there, it does form the shape of a rectangle. Okay, when you go on to your Google form for Math Today, this will be the first problem you're looking at. If you use your work we just did on, hopefully you can record that in scrap paper right now as well. I'll give you a moment. You might want to hit pause, look at this array, record it on your scrap paper there. You can just make dots to make it there, and then you'll have it to use when you come back to finish the Google form. Okay, so when you come back, you'll need to just find the next 2, okay, which would be the 6th and 7th. What rule can you use to find any rectangular number? Remember, to find any rectangular number, just find the product of 2 consecutive counting numbers. So let's practice together. We need to find the next 2 rectangular numbers. We just did find the next one, the 5th one, on this last page. Again, when you're completing that Google form, realize some of the work from problems before can help you with the next problem. Okay, so if we think about it, the next 2 rectangular numbers, this would be the 5th one. If it's the 5th one, first, second, third, fourth, 5th, we're going to do 5 times 6 equals 30. Our next rectangular number, the 5th one, would be 30. I use the 5 and the next counting number as the 2 factors. 5 times 6 equals 30. To find the next one, or the 6th one, I'm going to start with 6 as one factor, and I'm going to use the next counting number, 7, as the other factor. So 6 times 7 equals 42. That means that the 6th rectangular number is 42. Okay, I would again right now hit pause and record these numbers here, the first 6 rectangular numbers, and remember what we did here, because this is the second problem on that journal page that you'll be working on, which is on that Math Google form you're going to do at the end here. So that will help you get started with that second problem on the journal page, this work that we just did. Okay, the last thing I want to do with you here is start problem number 3. You will need to come back and finish it on your own when you're completing the Google Math form for today, just like the other problems that we just did. If you look at the pattern here, it says 2 equals 2, and we have to continue the following pattern. So we need to first stop and analyze the pattern before we can continue it. What is the pattern? Well, we see 2 on the left here, and it's equaling 2. Okay? 2 plus 4 equals 6. First thing I notice that's different is it's an addition equation. And they kept 2 here, but now they added 4, which when I think about it is the next even number. So 2 plus 4 is 6. And then I go down to the third one here, third row. 2 plus 4, that's what we had here, so they took the same thing. Now they added the next even number after 4, which is 6. 2 plus 4 plus 6 equals 12. Okay, if I needed to continue the pattern here, 2 plus 4 plus 6, right? They took the right from above here and they put it down there. What's the next even number after 6? 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, so 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 equals what? And that would continue the pattern here. So 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8, does that equal 20? Yep, it does. If I had to describe the pattern, you could think about describing the pattern. Maybe I'm noticing that each rectangular number here, that's what these sums are. They're all rectangular numbers. If you didn't realize that, 2, 6, 12, 20. Okay, think about this one when you get there. If it's 30, it's continuing to show that these are all addition equations that are equaling the rectangular numbers. So one pattern I notice it is each rectangular number is the sum of the even numbers in order starting with 2. So you're adding the even numbers in order, start with 2, and that will equal the rectangular number. So if I had to describe the pattern, I might say something like here, and again, you might want to save this for when you have to complete a journal page on your Math Google form. If I describe the pattern, I would say the rectangular numbers seem to be, oops, little typo there. Fix that. The rectangular numbers seem to be are the sum of the even numbers in order starting with 2, meaning if I add the even numbers in order starting with 2, that sum will give me the rectangular number. Okay, so hopefully this helped you get started at least with that third problem on the journal page that is on the Google form for you to do today. Okay, so now you need to actually go into the 4th grade remote learning classroom. You're going to complete the 4-22 Math Google form. Remember, we already started the problems together during this video, so use that work to help you finish them. And this is the page that you'll see on the Google form that you're doing today. And then don't forget to complete your extra math fact practice. You've done some great work with me today here. If you need to, you can always replay some of the video, or I am here if you have any questions today or tomorrow, as well as any of the other 4th grade teachers. But I hope everyone's doing well. I know, just like the other teachers, I miss seeing all of your faces at school, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.